Proverbs 3, and we're going to 5 and 6. I'm going to the New American Standard Bible, 1995 version, so if you're using your electronic devices. And I would love it if we could read it together. So let me know when you're there. Yeah, my fun crew in the back, could you please stand? Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. NASB 1995. Are we ready? Okay. At the count of 3, we'll read together. 1, 2, 3. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight. Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight. For a brief moment, we want to talk about forsaking all. I trust him. Forsaking all. I trust him. Here's the question. Do you trust him? Everyday challenges can test our trust in God. Fear, anxiety can rob us of our faith. There are even times when the future seems uncertain. Some of us are experiencing that part even now. And worry has begun to take root and rent space. We have given it space in our head, in our hearts, and in our minds. So today, we want to put our focus on 3 things. Trusting God, letting God lead, and here we go, Cherie, watching God move. It's an amazing thing when God has joined some things together that even in distance, we can't be separated. He'll bring it together for the good and for the benefit of his kingdom. Trusting God. Trust is both heart and head, and we need to solely rely on his promises. God's timing is perfect. We may never know why certain things happen during our lifetime, but we can trust that God's plan for us is good and that he goes before us. His plan for us is good and he goes before us. Trusting God does not mean that I got to smile and fake an appearance of faith. Sometimes trusting God is crying out to him in our pain. Our true hope is knowing that we can rejoice even in our pain. Let's think about some things right here real quick. I hear that, no, this is not something I heard. This is something I know. Bringing forth a child can be painful. There are times where you have a planned delivery, and in you having a planned delivery, that means they're scheduling it, and that means that they're going to perform a surgery. And therefore, when the delivery takes place, there may not be any pain. But after you're stitched back up, pain. But I know that mommy still rejoices from having her baby. Am I right about that? Am I right? You know, when we think of the things that men go through, trying to take care of a family, trying just to be a man, I don't care whether you're black, white, Mexican, Asian, Indonesian, whatever, it doesn't matter. Being a man can be a difficult task. But even in your pain of going to work every day, even in your pain of looking for a job, you can rejoice. So faith is not going to always necessarily be a happy-go-lucky thing, a beautiful thing. Sometimes we have to cry through our faith. We cry through our pain. Number 2, let God lead. Let God lead. God got this. So just stop being fearful. We activate our power when we trust God. Our security and our peace should rest. I said should rest in God alone. Not our circumstances, not other people, not even our ability. We can believe his word when he says that he would never leave us nor forsake us. Now, Cherie said she left a Safe Place Church, but she was still giving to the ministry. Some would think, lady, really? But when God's word is true in your life, it does not matter where you are, what you're doing, you're still trusting his process. We're the ones who take a step to the side. Come on. How you do the cha-cha slide? Slide to the left. Slide to the right. Huh? Crisscross, right? That's how it goes, Jordan. You know, sometimes we do all of these things even with God. We slide to the left. We slide to the right. And then we go to, how low can you go? Can you go down low? You know, because we do some low down, dirty things in our lives. But we're still asking God to do it for us. But we low, how low can you go? All the way to the floor. Yeah. And you never stop. All of that is steady going on. But God said, I will never leave you nor forsake you. We can believe his word when he tells us that. And he also calls us to make our petitions known to him. Come on, talk to me, James. What James said? Be anxious for. Break the word down. Be anxious for. Nothing. Be anxious for nothing. But by prayer and supplication, make your request known. What is prayer? Talking to God. What is supplication? Petitioning God. It's us asking God. It's us saying, you know, God, I'm asking you for this. I'm asking you for that. And one thing I got to side note on is when you go to God, you better bring your big bag. Let me see them big bags. Let me see who got a big bag. Because I ain't bring a big bag today. I got a little bag. I brought my little bag. Pastor, can we see your big bag? Huh? Oh, there go a big bag right there. Can I have that big bag? Big bag. Oh, that's a baby bag. Let me get this here big bag right here. Sister Russia got herself a big bag. Huh? When I go before God and I'm making my request known, can you bring me my purse? I'm not going to God with this here bag. This here bag ain't nothing. Can't do nothing with that. I need to bring my big bag because I'm desperate. Because I'm yearning for some things. I'm wanting God to make some moves in my life. I'm petitioning God for big things. So I'm not being anxious for no thing, but I'm making my request known. I'm making my request known. So your bag might be heavy. And a good lady sings, bag lady, you gonna hurt yourself carrying all them bags like that? Guess what? Sometimes we need not bags with people and stuff in it. We need bags with our own stuff in it so that we can bring it to God. What's some of the things you got to put in your bag? Don't you answer that out loud. Thirdly, watch God move. Yeah, somebody said that. Who said that? Watch. Don't make. Don't help. Watch God move. Sit back and trust the process. Sit back and trust the process. Have y'all ever flown? Anybody ever flown? I have never gone through the cabin or that little entryway when I'm getting ready to get on the airplane, and I have never got up there and said, hey, Cap, you can go take my seat. I got this. On a cruise, you know, you really don't see the captain until captain's night. I ain't never heard nobody say, hey, Cap, you sit down. We gonna drive this here ship. Because even on the Metro bus, Napoleon ain't here today. If you ever rode the Metro bus, I don't know if anybody ever got on that bus. Well, I know I didn't. I never got on that bus and say, hey, bus driver, I got you today. So why is it that we do that with God? When you catch an Uber, because you probably had too much to drink. When you catch an Uber, because you're in a city that you're unfamiliar with and you don't have transportation. I just don't think, Kaylin, if I went to St. Louis and caught an Uber, I could not get in the Uber and say, hey, Mr. Uber driver, don't worry about it. I got it. New York, L.A., anywhere. I don't know. But why is it that I could do that with God? Watch God move. As much as we love movies, have we ever gone to the production studio when we knew the movie was coming out and went up in there and said, you know what, Mr. Producer, I think I got something for you better. Let me do it this way. I know you wrote it like this, but let me do it this way because I think this will be better. We don't do that. We give our money. We got Netflix subscriptions. We got HBO subscriptions. We got all these different subscriptions. So we actually paying to watch this stuff. Jesus gave his life for us. He paid it all, and he's wanting the Father to do things on our behalf, but we still want to take over and do it ourselves. Sit back and watch God move. God is already in each and every one of our tomorrow. The Bible assures us that he knows our way and he has a plan. John 14:6 teaches Jesus is the way, the truth, and the light. And we can trust God's way is the best way for us. God's way is the best way for Steph. God's way should be the best way for you too. He never asked us to figure it out on our own. He never asked us to figure anything out. Jeremiah 29:11, it reminds us, it says, he knows the plan he has for us. This is New American Standard. The plans are good and not to destroy us. His plans are to give us a future and a hope. He didn't say a future. He said a future and a hope. So why are we walking around like we don't have no future? We don't have no hope. I had thought about putting my bag down, but I think I'm going to keep my bag with me because I'm feeling a sense of security. Yeah, I'm feeling a sense of security with my bag on because I have some petitions that I got to put in place. He wants us to trust him. What does Proverbs 3:6 tells us? He makes our path straight. He makes our path straight. Come here, David. You was the little shepherd boy. And we said, nope, not today, the last time y'all saw me, right? And he defeated the giant, right? With 3 smooth stones and a sling, right? But then he kept going, he kept going, he kept going. Then all of a sudden, he got filled with his own head. Whoa. David decided, you know what? I'm the big dude. I'm the big guy. I got this. I got this because God need me. I'm the king. I make the rules. He see that woman up there? That woman just taking a bath. And then he calls for that woman, and they talk, and he finds out that that woman is Uriah the Hittite's wife. Oh, okay, I got something for him too. Go get that man and bring that man back home because I got plans for his wife. So he did some stuff with that man's wife. That woman got pregnant. That woman got pregnant because they wasn't even supposed to be doing that. So then he sent for the man's wife. He sent for the man. He said, bring him back here. He sent for Uriah. Come on back home. Well, Uriah just a good man, a decent man. No, king, I can't come back home. Well, come on, you got to come home. So he came on back home. When he came back home in his uprightness, he did not want to be distracted by the anatomy of his wife, so he didn't have sex with her. Because he was about the king's business at the moment. His loyalty was to the king. His loyalty was to his upline. So he didn't do that. Oh, well, he didn't do that. Okay. All right. Well, look, we failed. I'm so sorry. We failed. So now let me just put him on the front line. Because now this woman is pregnant. This woman is pregnant. This woman have the baby. No, this woman baby end up dying. Because God was not pleased with his actions. So, oh God, let me put a pin right there. Parents, we need to be careful We need to be very, very careful because there are times that our choices can impact our children. We got to be careful. But now, what are we reading? We're reading Proverbs. And this portion of Proverbs was written by Solomon, right? And who was Solomon? David's son. So guess what? After that, even though David tried to figure it out, God still blessed him. Watch God move. Don't try to help God out. David asked God, create in me a clean heart and renew a steadfast spirit within me. He made his request known. He brought his bag. And I'm sure David had a big bag. He brought his bag to God and asked God for forgiveness. And even in David doing that, he watched God move. And we also understand that David became a man after God's own heart. Man after God's own heart. David was about that ice. Integrity, character, and excellence. Integrity, he could be trusted. Character, he knew who he was. He wasn't concerned with the reputation at that point. Character had become more important. And excellence. Excellence does not mean perfection. Excellence means that I'm going to give my all even in this. So Pastor Stan, even as we worship in this hotel, it's not our permanent resident, but once again, none of us, this is our permanent resident. We're all aliens on this land anyway. And just because it's not a whole lot of people in here, we still have to give God an excellent praise. How about you give God your best excellent praise right now? Keep going. God, you're amazing to us. God, you're all-knowing. God, you continue to bless us even when we don't do what you would have us to do. God, we ask that you just continue to bless us and continue to let us be your people. We praise you, God, just for who you are. We worship you because of who you are. We stand in awe of you because of who you are. I dare you to give God a shout right now. I dare you to give God a shout right now. I dare you to give God a shout of praise right now. We cannot do this on our own. For many, it's not about us feeling that God won't provide. Thank you, Adriana. God won't provide what we've been asking. But we may not want to go through the process that God is going to take us through to get it. So it's necessary that we pray and ask God to give us the strength to go through his process. Tell him, Jesus, tell him, Jesus, tell him, Jesus. While he's in the Garden of Gethsemane, according to Luke 22:42, Lord, if you are willing, Lord, if you are willing, remove this cup from me. This bitter cup from me. What's your bitterness? Is it molestation? Is it frustration? Is it pedophilia? Is it mismanagement? What's your bitter cup? Nevertheless, not my will, but yours. If we keep our eyes on him and make decisions based on faith, we become an agent of God who can move mountains. Did y'all hear what I said? Make a decision based on faith. Make a decision based on faith and not self. Make a decision based on faith. We can remove mountains. We can have these things to get out of our way. We must remember that without faith, it's impossible. It's impossible to please God, because anyone who comes to God must believe that he exists and that he rewards those who earnestly, diligently seek after him, go after him, press for him. Press for him. Do you trust him? Do you trust him?